Mellow bass screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war sounds, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Rivals on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the gay flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah! Mellow bass screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war sounds, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Rivals on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the gay flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah!
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here in the last great Coliseum. It is Bristol Motor Speedway as the Metalheads Truck Series back in action here tonight for a little bit more fun here this evening on iRacing, as each and one of these drivers is going to get ready to put on an absolutely amazing show for us here this evening as the Duck Donuts 150 is about to get underway, as all these drivers getting ready to duke it out, getting ready to go to battle here this evening for what is going to be another amazing night of racing action out there on the Speedway, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great times here this evening. As Ronnie Stewart, what's good? Hot Rod in the chat says, sorry for my absence, but the trucks, baby. Says, yes, sir. Says, oh, and what's up, Peacemaker? Oh, you know what's up, brother. You know what's up, Ronnie. You know what's up, brother. We're always here having some good fun, enjoying some good racing, and ready to put on a great show for all the fans in the stands here this evening. As Colton Hardy in the chat with rest in peace, Bill. Rest in peace, Bill. Yeah, we're going to be having some fun. We're going to be racing hard tonight, but it's going to be with a very heavy heart here as a absolutely amazing member of the Metalheads Truck series here and so many of the other series that we've put on in the past here. Bill Hales unfortunately passed away earlier today. It's such a heartbreaking thing whenever we lose a member of the community, a member of the iRacing community and our community. And Bill was a heck of a man, heck of a driver, and man, this is man. Tough race here for a lot of us, knowing that Bill's no longer with us, and it's going to suck as, unfortunately, yeah, so we're going to be laying the green flag tonight, and we're going to leave the pole position empty in memory of Bill. Our stage will be on lap 53, which is Bill's number. So lap 53 is our stage break in memory of Bill Hales here this evening. As Bill, he was a heck of a racer, man. Clean driver, amazing competitor, loved iRacing and sports cars, formula cars, oval cars, A license, super high I rating, super high safety rating, just such a clean and good driver out there. Each and every single thing that he did here in iRacing, and he's definitely going to be sorely missed. I mean, over his career, 510 starts, 6 wins, 9 poles, 49 top 5s, man. He led a lot of laps. He picked up some big wins, and man, he just enjoyed it, had a lot of fun, and just, very clean racer, man. Over 510 starts and only had an average of 3 incidents per race. That's absolutely insane. That's like one piece of contact to a wall or another driver that, 90% of the time probably wasn't even his fault. But man, a lot of laps, 38,000 total laps here as well, man. That is a lot of time. That's a lot of time, and Bill's going to be deeply missed here, not only on Peacemaker Gaming, but in all these amazing communities here in iRacing, including the Metalheads Truck series. And our hearts and our prayers go out to Bill and his family, his friends, and every one of his acquaintances here in the racing community that unfortunately have to hear that sad news that Bill unfortunately lost his finally made his final race, man. His final lap, unfortunately, here this morning. And it's absolutely heartbreaking that he made his final lap here today. Is K-Dub in the chat? K-Dub says the winner needs to jump the ramp after the race. Laugh out loud. I agree. I saw you and Colton doing that during the warm-up there. That was absolutely amazing. And Mr. Eric Hardy, what's good? Eric in the chat says, let's go, baby. Hashtag number 97 says, prayers for Hamlin as well. Yeah, I saw that as well, man. And, man, the racing community's just been going through it, man. We start with Greg Biffle, then, we have our buddy Bill, unfortunately, passing away. And, then we have, I saw on Twitter that, it was, Hamlin's parents' house burnt down, like, yesterday or 2 days ago, something like that. I haven't looked too much more into it. I don't know if it was Hamlin's house himself or if it was his parents' house. Hopefully everyone was A-okay and got out okay, and no injuries or anything else. As we never like to see that, man. Fires just, oh man, they're so awful, man. That's always one of my biggest fears whenever it comes to leaving the house, man. Is that I just want to hope that it's still there when I get back. Is these drivers, they're going to get lined up here, but they are going to leave that pole position open here this evening as Bill will lead us here today. So Bill Hales out in front here for these first few laps, like I know he would want to be, and right where he would be if he was here with us this afternoon. And a heartbreaking news here this morning. Getting that news from Nate Cogdell about him and everything else. His parents' father passed away, and mom is pretty bad. No way. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know that, Eric. That's awful. That is awful, man. That his dad passed away and his mom is in pretty bad condition. That is heartbreaking, man. Heartbreaking. Prayers for Denny Hamlin. Prayers for the entire Hamlin family and their friends and everyone else, man. This is such a tough time to be, in the racing community, man. There's so much bad things happening, man. We just, hopefully tonight, some great racing, some great battles out here at Bristol Motor Speedway with the Metalhead Truck Series. Can take our minds off of it for a few moments, a few little bit, and, just enjoy some great racing action here this evening as we're going to get ready to set these drivers loose. It's David Traylor Jr. who will start in the pole position with Matt Hayden there to his outside. Caleb Kleinert and Ashley Ellison Jr. will start there in row number 2 with the number 51 Tyler Stevenson rounding out our top 5. Nathan Somerville will start to his outside with the 0-1 Rooster Ronin, and Nick Garner bringing up row number 4. Row number 5 we'll have Colton Hardy and Kevin Winker rounding out our top 10, and then we do see that number 92 of Clinton would be Nate Congdale there in 11th and 12th as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing here from Bristol Motor Speedway. As Matt Hayden looking to take the early lead here, David Traylor trying to keep himself out in front, but it looks like that middle groove gonna pay off for that 5 ride. As Matt Hayden, welcome back to iRacing. Hayden's been away for a little while, has knocked the rust off, and here he is picking right up where he left off, out in front and leading the way as David Traylor Jr. in tow will follow right in his tire tracks down through corner number 1 and 2. Back down the back straightaway into corner number 3 as we see our first caution flag of the day is going to fly. Our first yellow flag displayed here this evening. Looks like Nate Congdale may have gotten a little piece of this one. Let's take a look back and see what happened. Maybe the 97 in here as well, as we see a couple drivers all of a sudden getting tied up and a little tore up out there on the racetrack. Where is the 97 of Colton Hardy? There he is. All right, so Colton's rolling about in the 9th position here, and there's contact in front of him. Everyone scatters. Let's take a look here. It looks like the 28 ride of Nathan Somerville here. I'm not sure if Somerville loses. There it is. Loses the rear end, gets sideways. You see the 27 ride, the 0-0. Everyone skidding, trying to stay out of it. Unfortunately, a little contact there for that 28 machine with the number 27. There's nowhere to go there for Nick Garner. Garner just ends up getting tied up in this one, man. Really nothing that he could do to avoid it. And unfortunately, gets a little contact in there. Then we saw that 0-0 going around, trying to avoid it as well as 28 just gets sideways there on the racetrack, gets around, and that's where the caution flag will fly. So we see our first caution flag of the day here on lap number 3 here this evening. So we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing again here this evening. Looks like Nathan Somerville will get an EOL. He will go to the back of the pack here, and for that stack up number 28 ride, he'll unfortunately lose a ton of track position. Tough break there for him, but for Matt Hayden out in front, leading early on here this evening. Hayden's gonna be looking and trying to keep himself out in front for the rest of this afternoon, but you're going to see a stage break at lap number 53 for Bill Hales. That was his racing number. That is the number of stage laps that we'll have here in the first stage of the day. So stage break at lap number 53 here this evening in memory of the late great Bill Hales. And for these drivers, they kind of got a game plan around that. They got to really figure out, what is their strategy going to be? How long can they go on a set of tires? How long can they go with fuel? Do they have to make, more than one pit stop here this evening? If they only have to make one, is it that number? Do you make it to lap 53, come down pit road, throw tires and fuel in, and then get rolling again out there on the racetrack? Is I think that's going to be probably the game plan for a lot of these drivers, and hope that whether or not we have a lot of caution flags or a lot of other issues, but somewhere around there to try and help these drivers out, as they have 70% fuel in these tanks. I feel like that can probably get them very close to around that 100 lap marker. So I think we're going to see a lot of drivers taking that risk, taking that groove where they come down pit road on lap 53 at the end of the stage, get that fuel, get a set of tires, and hope that they can last until the end of this race. Now, they do have 3 sets of tires back behind pit wall, so that may be enticing for drivers later in this race to maybe make the call to come back down pit road, throw an extra set on, and hope that it can help them gain that track position that they may not have and put themselves into a better position later in this race. As here we go, back to battling quickly. See that 5 ride of Matt Hayden. Great restart, great launch right there for the 5 ride, able to open up a little bit of a lead here, give himself a little breathing room between himself and that 54 as the QH Designs 54 rider David Traylor Jr. looking to try to reel him back in, looking to put the pressure once again right to the back bumper of that 5 machine. Caleb Kleiner's right there ready to pounce as we do see the caution flag coming back out. So cautions breeding cautions here in this one, and it looks like we're going to get a few drivers tied up here this evening. As you see that beautiful in memory of Bill Hales number 3 machine usually, but it's sporting that 53 here today with Bill Hales riding on board with Mr. Keith Prince here this evening. And unfortunately, looks like Paul Durkee, the 53, the 6 may all kind of get collected here in this one as we're going to watch Bill's ride right here up the racetrack right against the fence. No contact there, so it must be back down into corner number 1 right here. Then the 31, yeah, right there. Same thing as what we saw for Nathan Somerville. Loses that rear end, starts to go around. Look at Clinton Woodby. Nowhere for him to go. Ends up getting some pretty solid left front damage. And then you take a look at the 4 ride of Jesse Callaway up on the high side. Nowhere to go for the 318 of Matthew Catania. As Catania and the 4 make some contact. The 4 ride sideways on the racetrack. Everyone's trying to get through there. There goes Rick LePage. LePage just nothing he could do. He goes around here. I wonder if he gets a little help as he probably saw this happening, tried to get checked up, but unfortunately, 28 ride may not have saw it, didn't get checked up in time. Unfortunately, runs over that 24 ride, spins him around, and gives himself quite a bit of damage there. Gives some pretty good damage to Rick LePage as well as the caution flag comes back out. That means we'll have to stack them up and try this one all over again. We'll have to see what these drivers can do a little later in this race. Take a look back at Clinton Woodby. Clinton definitely got a little bit of damage out of that. Same with Matthew Catania. They're back deeper in the field. We'll have to wait and see if they can work their way up towards the front as we do see Justin Lawson there, the 12 ride of Michael Newman. Nathan Somerville's back there in 17th. We do see the 98 ride, the Big Cat Machine. That is Benjamin McKinnon in attendance here this evening, ready to battle. He's a little deeper in the field, trying to gain some spots here in this one as Rick LePage right there behind him. Paul Durkee's there in 20th, and Jesse Callaway now at the back of the pack. But man, look at that beautiful number 3 machine. This ride is looking fresh, looking beautiful out there in memory of Bill Hales. Man, we absolutely love this paint scheme. This thing is looking absolutely beautiful out there on the racetrack. Let's see if we can get another angle at this one. Maybe we can get another look at it. You see the logo on the back here for the Bill Hales 924 1967 to the 12th or the 29th of December 2025. Man, that's rough. Honestly, that is scary to think, man. That's scary to think my mom was born what, 21 days after Bill. 21 days after Bill. So I mean, that is a scary thing to think of, man. My mom's the same age as Bill, and man, that is something you never want to have come up. But man, this is just tough, man. And our hearts and prayers once again go with the Bill, as he is gone but not forgotten. And I'm sure for Keith Prince and all these drivers, all the members here at the Metalheads Truck Series are going to keep Bill and his family in our hearts and prayers for a very, very long time. As the 5 ride of Matt Hayden continues to lead the way. Hayden out in front. David Traylor Jr. sticking straight there in second here. Not giving up an inch here to that 5 ride as Caleb Kleiner is holding tough here in third. Tyler Stevenson rolls there in fourth as Ashley Elson Jr. falls back into that 5th position. Rooster Rodden there in 6th as here comes Nick Gardner, that number 97 of Colton Hardy, and that 42 of Kevin Winker, K-Dub in the Winker Nation ride, trying to work his way up here towards the front of the field, trying to get into the battle here at the front as the caution flag is going to be displayed once again, as it looks like Paul Durkee gonna run into some more issues. Oh no, let's take a look here. What happens here? The Durkee ride as he gets in there a little too far, doesn't want to run over the 4 ride, gets loose, starts to go around, tries to correct it, and unfortunately, that's how quickly things happen here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Paul Durkee, see what he sees through that cockpit as he gets a great run down the front straightaway. And right here, then gets in a little bit farther than I think he was expecting with that 4 ride. Now he's trying to save himself from going around, and unfortunately the car snap hooks around up into the outside fence. Pretty solid damage there for him, and stopped there on the racetrack, pointed the wrong direction. Caution flag against displayed. So a tough break there again for Paul Durkee, but luckily enough he's able to avoid, running through that 4 ride of Jesse Calloway and potentially taking out both drivers here this evening. As Mark Jackie Miller says, "Let's go number 3," cheering on that 3 machine. Keith Prince here this evening. Prince with that beautiful Bill Hales Memorial paint scheme here this evening, sporting the 5-3 here today, and in memory of Bill Hales, as that 53 or 3 machine here at Keith Prince, just outside the top 10 here, hoping to try to work his way up into a solid finish here in memory of our good friend Bill Hales. As Matt Hayden, though, Matt out in front, picking right up where he left off, man. He took some time off. We saw him in here, I believe, last week, talking about how, he's probably going to forget how to drive. He probably hasn't been on in a few months and hasn't really, done too many laps or anything else. So, really, for this 5 ride, I don't know if he's gotten a bunch of practice in or if he's just kind of gotten right back into it. And it's like riding a bike. He's picked right up where he left off. And this 5 ride has got some good speed. It's got the pace, and he's out front, leading the way here and hoping to try to keep it that way. So he's looking to keep David Traylor Jr., Caleb Kleinert, and the rest of this field back there at base. 20 laps now completed here this evening. So 20 laps down. 130 laps left to go here from Bristol Motor Speedway, and now these laps can get clicked off in a quick hurry. If we see it stay clean and green for a long period of time here, we could see this race get clicked off in a quick hurry here this evening. But so far, a few early race caution flags, a few early issues for these drivers. They're trying to get their feet underneath them, trying to make sure they can keep these trucks pointing the right direction, and hoping that they can put themselves up into a good finish here for what could be their final race of 2025. As the 5 rider Matt Hayden sees that green flag fly quickly, gets back on the loud pedal, gets the launch he was looking for, clears that 54 of David Traylor Jr., and this is exactly what he wants to see. Continuously on these restarts as the drivers back here battling for that second position, trying to allow himself to open up that couple truck length lead here, giving himself a little bit more time and a little bit less pressure right to his back bumper. But for the 54, David Traylor Jr. able to quickly clear that 196 of Caleb Kleinert. His look out slideways right there for Tyler Stevenson. Stevenson trying to get everything he can here on this restart, pushing that truck hard, almost went around right there, as you do see a few more drivers starting to work their way into the top 10. Here comes that 6 ride, a Rusty Modesty, the 318 machine of Matthew Catania, works around the outside of Kevin Winker. Winker's trying to keep himself, oh, look out, 318, oh no, troubles here for Matthew Catania. It's heavy right side damage now for this 318 machine. He is going to be hurting here for a little while. He's hoping that he can try to keep this thing just pointing the right direction, make it to that stage break, not lose a lap. But man, this is definitely going to affect his ride here this evening. And we saw that 3 machine at Keith Prince get a little contact into him. That's some pretty solid right front damage to that 3 ride out there on the speedway. Winker, though, back inside the top 10 as he's got Nate Cogdell right there to his back bumper. But the 6th rider, Rusty Modesty, there to his outside. Winker's trying to work his way back around him, just can't quite get that foot to the throttle as quickly as he wants to try to make that pass. Is out in front. Matt Hayden continues to lead the way as now Keith Prince. Oh, look out, Prince and Somerville battling door to door here. This is for the 13th and 14th position. You do see Lawson right there behind them in that 15th spot. Catania looks like he's gotten this truck back under control, back rolling in the right direction here, and hoping, even though he's got this damage, that he can still try to, find some speed and try to work his way up towards the front of the field. As Lawson will slide back to 16th, that's where we see Jesse Calloway, Michael Newman, Benjamin McKinnon's back there in 19th, Rick LePage there in 20th, and Paul, the old man Durkee, unfortunately has this beautiful Get Grumpy Ryan down pit side here, and unfortunately looks like he may be down pit road for an extended period of time trying to get this truck repaired and back out into the action. Here this evening is out in front, David Traylor Jr. able to take the race lead back away from Matt Hayden. A little bit longer of a green flag run, and finally David Traylor is able to get the run in the drive that he was looking for to jump up and steal this top spot back away from Matt Hayden out there on the racetrack. So Hayden will fall back into second here as David will take over this race lead. Caleb Kleiner rolls there in third with Tyler Stevenson, his teammate, right there in position number 4, continuing to look for more. As Rooster Ronin there in 5th, Ashley Ellison Jr. back in 6th, and we do see Paul Durkee coming back out here. Looks like Durkee maybe going to get rolling here, maybe going to rejoin the field and get back into the fun here this evening. Have to wait and see. There it is. Okay, so he does rejoin the field, does get back into the action and back into the fun here this evening as the 31 back out onto the racetrack. Good to see him back out there. Unfortunately, though, he is about 9 laps down out there on the speedway, and that is a tough spot to be. 9 laps down here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Going to take a lot of great breaks to try to even get half those laps back. Going to need a miracle to try to get back on the lead lap here this evening. But for the 54, David Traylor Jr., now that we're kind of getting, a little bit of a rhythm going, these drivers are kind of getting a little bit more, just spread out if they're on the racetrack. Seeing this little bit longer of a green flag run. Now we will have our stage break at lap number 53 here this evening. So the completion of lap 53, yellow flag will come out. And for these drivers, that will really be that game time decision on what do you want to do. Do you want to come down pit road? Do you want to take that pit stop, use those tires there? I think you're going to have to, and hope that you're good on fuel or good on tires until the checkered flag here this evening. But for David Traylor Jr. and Matt Hayden, sitting 1 and 2 here on the speedway. Caleb Kleiner back there in third. Now Kleiner has fallen back away from that 54 and the 5 ride, and he's been struggling here. He's had this BRC teammate right on his back bumper here for a little while as the CCR Esports team trying to work themselves up here into victory lane again this evening. Tyler Stevenson, I'm not sure if he's just being patient here behind his teammate, or if he's gonna, there we go, he finally makes that move down to the inside. Caleb Kleiner is probably not going to put up too much of a fight here. May allow his teammate to get by him, but maybe not. Maybe he's going to continue to roll that Majula State Speed Shop ride right to his outside, trying to keep himself inside the top 3, knowing that there are stage points on the line here this evening. As Diane Calloway says, "Go Calloway," cheering on Jesse here this evening as Jesse got tied up early on in that first little bit of a caution flag, but for that 4 ride, stuck back in about the 16th position, trying to work his way around that 53 of Keith Prince and Matthew Catania, and he's right there just on the outside of the top 15 looking in. But here in this one, nice and easy, down and across the line. It's only 10 laps left to go here in our first stage of the day. And for David Traylor Jr., took him a little while, took him a few of those caution flags, and finally this good green flag run to work his way back out in front for Matt Hayden. You gotta wonder maybe on those restarts early on if he was maybe pushing a little bit too hard, a little bit too much, burned his stuff up there on those restarts, and unfortunately just does not have quite enough there to hold off that 54 ride of David Traylor Jr. That's what allowed David to get back around him. As we do see Tyler Stevenson, he's able to work his way back around that 196 of Caleb Kleiner, so Kleiner does fall back into 4th for Rooster Ronin. He's there in 5th. Ashley Ellison Jr. in 6th with Nick Gardner, Rusty Modesty, Colton Hardy, and Clinton Woodby rounding out our top 10. Woodby's trying to work his way around that 97 ride as here comes Nathan Somerville. Somerville looks to have some good speed in that 28 ride, ran into that lap 3 issue, went around, had some damage, had to go to the back of the pack, lost all that track position, but for the 28 ride, here he is battling his way back up towards the front of the field as we see the caution flag fly again, and unfortunately it's the grumpy goat, number 31 Machina, Paul Durkee, gonna run into some more issues here. Man, tough run here this evening for Paul the Old Man Dirk. He's just been trying to keep himself out of trouble. Unfortunately, this thing has been a bit of an animal on him. And again, this looks like he's going to lose that rear end. Goes around, tries to save it, tags the inside safer barrier there, and unfortunately parks sideways out of corner number 2. That'll pull out the caution flag there on the speedway, as we will get the yellow here in this one. Should set us up for what could be a very short run to the end of this stage, as everyone's going to come down pit road. Oh, baby, here we go. Everyone makes their way down pit side. All these drivers making their first pit stops of the evening. Now, this is just before the stage break, so it's quite surprising. I thought we would have maybe saw a couple drivers stay out a little bit longer, hoping to try to maybe steal the stage win away, as Nicole Winker says, "Let's go Winker," hashtag Winker Nation. Brett Winker in the chat says, "Let's go Winker." Winker Nation as well cheering on K-Dub here this evening, as I believe K-Dub just outside the top 10 there before these pit stops. We'll have to wait and see where he lines up as we go back to green flag racing, as the 54 at David Trailer Jr. out in front leads the way. Matt Hayden there in second. Tyler Stevenson comes out in third. Caleb Kleinert, Ashley Ellison Jr. will come out in about that 6th spot, as Rooster Rodham will stay in 5th. Ashley Ellison Jr. back in 6th with Nick Gardner. Rusty Modesty, Clinton Woodby, 97 of Colton Hardy rounding out our top 10. Nathan Somerville back in 11th. Kevin Winker there in 12th. Matthew Catania, looks like Catania for the most part. Looks like he's gotten that damage repaired. No, looks like he's still got a little bit of damage on there. We'll have to wait and see if he makes his way back down pit road, as we do see Ashley Ellison Jr. Heartbreak here for Ashley, having himself a great run, battling up inside the top 10, top 5 here for the first half of this race. And now for that 133 machine making an extra pit stop here this evening. That's a heartbreaker for him. And Tyler Stevenson. Oh no, what's going on here with Stevenson? Stevenson also back down onto pit road here. Slow down on the apron. I'm not sure if he's coming down pit side or if he's staying out. What is going on here for the 51 ride? Nonetheless, he goes to the back of the pack. So doesn't Caleb Kleinert. What in the world is going on here? There's a lot of drivers that were up towards the front that are now going deeper into the field here and giving up a lot of track position. To wait and see what that strategy call is as we get them stacked up 2 by 2 by 2, as Kato says that was the stage. Okay, so they are going to call that the stage break right there. Okay, so that was the stage break here in this one. That's a thank you, K-Dub, for coming in, giving us that heads up. I figured it probably would be. I wasn't sure if you guys would do a one-lap shootout, but they're going to call that as the stage. So David Trailer Jr. wins stage number 1 here this evening. Wins the stage. Matt Hayden comes home in second with that 51, and Tyler Stevenson back in third. Then we saw Caleb Kleinert in that 0-1. Rooster Rodden. Look out for Rusty Modesty. Modesty, hang on to it, buddy. Oh, look out. He's trying to save it. Finally, caution flag does fly. He's able to get it rolling, able to keep it pointing in the right direction, but my gosh, that was a whole lot closer to being a whole lot worse than a quick hurry. But the yellow flag will be displayed here nonetheless on the completion of lap 53, but nonetheless, it's David Trailer out in front who wins the first stage of the day. So shout out there to the QH Designs number 54 at David Trailer Jr. as we will get another Duck Donuts caution flag here this evening. Let's get a quick word in here from Duck Donuts, our sponsors here this evening, and obviously our series sponsor, Johnny Johnson Motorsports. Alrighty, so cautions, breeding cautions here this evening in the Duck Donuts 150 here from Bristol Motor Speedway, as the stage break brings with it an additional caution flag, and that will get us stacked up, racked up, and ready for another attempt here at this restart. Ready to try to get these drivers rolling once again as the 24 ride going to get the lucky dog right here. So for Rick LePage, trying to get back on the lead lap, trying to get back into the battle here. He will get that lap back. He will get back into the hunt here this evening, as we do see the 3 machine, or the 53 ride here this evening, with Bill Hales running on board here with Keith Prince down pit side here now for an extended period of time. I do believe for Keith has actually fallen at least a lap down here. Looks like he's able to get rolling back out onto the racetrack, so unfortunately does lose a lap, but he is in line for the next lucky dog. So if we have another quick caution flag, Keith Prince could try to get himself back on a lead lap and back into the battle here this evening. As of right now, though, he'll have to just bank on that yellow and hope that he's still in the hunt for the lucky dog here this evening, as we get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back here in this one. As Anna, what's good, Anna? How are you? Anna Alessandro in the chat says, "What's up, my peeps? What's up, Anna? How are you? How was your Christmas? How was everyone's Christmas, guys? Let us know in the comment section right now. How was Christmas? You guys have a good, safe, happy Christmas holiday break so far? Hopefully everyone got spoiled rotten. Got Santa. Hopefully Santa got you guys something nice and something cool that you can be proud of. Let us know in the comment section. How was your Christmas? What did you get? What was your favorite present? Was it something fancy? Was it something expensive? Was it maybe just the Christmas dinner? That's one of my favorite things, man. Good old turkey dinner for Christmas dinner, man. That's always one of my faves. Is look out, we did see that 92 of Clinton Woodby almost going around. Now we see the 12 ride of Michael Newman up into the outside fence here. Newman's able to get that Doritos ride rolling once again and able to keep it battling here in this one, as everyone so far able to keep it pointed the right direction here. But out in front, great restart and great launch for that 54 David Traylor Jr. as he's looking to set sail and looking to run away here with this one, as David Traylor Jr. out in front. Matt Hayden sits there in second with Rooster Rodden now in third. Nick Gardner sits there in fourth with Colton Hardy. Now rounding out our top 5 is look out. We do see another driver running into issues. That's Justin Lawson. Lawson's pointing the wrong direction, sideways here on the racetrack. There is the caution flag. Heavy damage here for that 20 ride, as our race leaders are unfortunately going to roll around him here. That may put him a lap down, but Justin Lawson running into some issues. Let's take a look back and see what happens as another Duck Donuts caution flag. Let's keep an eye on this masked owl. Technologies number 20 machine sends it into the corner right here, and looks like he starts to go around, tries to save it, ends up hard contact into the outside fence, and all of a sudden nowhere to go for Rusty Modesty here, man. Modesty, just really nothing he could do, but man, gonna get a good look at this one. Let's see if we can jump on board with Rusty, see what Rusty can kind of see here. Maybe from his chase view, is just in front of him, a few car lengths up. You're going to see him get sideways right there, trying to save it, washes up the racetrack into the outside fence. Rusty's off the throttle. He's hoping to avoid it. Unfortunately, could not avoid that 20 ride. They both washed down into the infield fence, and unfortunately both end up with some pretty solid damage early on here this evening. As Anna says, everything was wonderful. I love that, Anna. I love that. You had yourself a wonderful Christmas, and now we all got to look forward to New Year's. New Year's only a couple days away. Say goodbye to 2025 and say hello to 2026. My gosh, that's going to be... Every year it seems baffling to me that we're already in 2026, man. I'm getting old, chat. I'm getting old. My gosh, when you're starting to see, hockey players and, football players and stuff like that, and they're showing their stats or, like where they went to college and everything else, and it shows their birthday, and it shows like 07, 06, 08, man, I feel so old. Like, I was out of public school, I was out of, grade 8, I was in high school and stuff like that, and these kids were just being born, and now they're, playing professional sports and stuff, or racing and everything else, and man, it makes me feel old. It makes me feel real old when I think of that, which is crazy. And now 2026, my gosh, that's absolutely insane that we're already basically at 2026. That's crazy. That's crazy. So we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to battle now. You do see Justin Lawson. Lawson did unfortunately lose a lap there. So for the 20 ride, he'll need another caution flag and a lucky dog to get back into the action here this evening. Now for Keith Prince, he did receive that lucky dog, so he's a little lucky here this evening in that beautiful Bill Hales Memorial ride, as he's able to get back on the lead lap, back into the action, and hoping to try to work his way back up towards the front of the field here. Same with a few of these other drivers. When we look back here at drivers like, Caleb Kleinert, Tyler Stevenson, Ashley Ellison Jr., they went to the back of the pack there a couple restarts ago, and they're trying to rebound from it, trying to work their way back up towards the front, but it's been a bit of a battle trying to navigate their way through this heavy traffic. As here we go, back to green flag racing as David Traylor Jr. gets another good restart. Look out now, Matt Hayden's going to run into problems. Look out, big wreck on the front straightaway. Oh, brother. A bunch of them tied up here in this one. Big caution flag as our outside pole sitter Matt Hayden runs into issues, and it's right off of corner number, this is corner number 2, actually. Corner number 2, yeah, right here. Just gets up into the outside fence, and as he does, he just drives it in there too deep, trying to get too much here off this restart and trying to keep that 0-1 back at bay. Washes up the racetrack, pounds that outside fence, washes back down across the nose here of that 0-1, a rooster run. Now, unfortunately, both drivers were carrying so much speed and so much momentum as they both bounce off the inside fence. Watch them both wash up the racetrack right here. Look at Colton Hardy just narrowly avoiding that one. Unfortunately for Winker, Matthew Catania, then 196 of Caleb Kleinert all get tied up into it. Ashley Ellison ends up getting a piece of his teammate right there. Ends up some pretty solid contact there into that 196 ride as well, because that was a big wreck, chat. That was a lot of good drivers, a lot of fast cats all of a sudden, just nowhere to go, and absolutely tore up. And now that is exactly what we tend to see here at Bristol Motor Speedway. We tend to see that at least a couple times a year, and man, there's some big hits out there, man. A lot of these drivers just trying to keep themselves out of it, trying to stay away from the carnage, and hoping that, up towards the front of the field, that's going to be a place that they can stay away from it. But unfortunately, just, oh man, a lot of times that's exactly what you run into. Nothing you can do, nowhere you can go. You got a car to your outside, you got both cars washing up, Indy on the inside, and you just kind of gonna hold your breath and hope that you can slice your way through it. And unfortunately for a lot of drivers, did not get as lucky as we do see Matt Hayden down pit road trying to get that truck repaired. Looks like he's going to be able to use a quick repair, get that thing fixed up. So doesn't Kevin Winker and Rooster Rodden. Ashley Ellison Jr. does a bit of damage on that 133 ride. Caleb Kleiner gets his truck repaired, and so doesn't Matthew Catania, but that's going to put them once again deeper into the field here for this next restart. And the deeper you are back here in the pack, the more likely you are to potentially get tied up in some more of that craziness here later in this race, as we're about to roll up towards that halfway marker here this evening. And the intensity is just going to continue to build. Things are just going to continue to get crazier and crazier for these drivers, and these cautions continue to breed cautions, and being deeper in the field, being back there, you could find yourself in the same fate and potentially an early exit here at Bristol Motor Speedway in a quick hurry. As here we go, getting ready. See that green flag fly. It's the 54 of David Traylor Jr. Sees that 5 ride who, took the early race lead away from him, stayed right there with him for a lot of this race, no longer on his back bumper. David's now going to try to keep all these drivers still back there behind him and back there at bay. So he gets a great launch, great restart. Somerville working to the inside here of that 27 of Nick Gardner. Gardner's trying to stay in position number 2. I know Nick would love to try to find his way back up and into victory lane here, and looking like he may have a good old opportunity here this afternoon as Somerville sits back in third. Here comes Clinton Woodby. Woodby looking for another checkered flag, hoping for another win here on the season. Woodby has been Man, he's been winning a lot of races here this season as he picked up last week's win. And he'll be looking for another one here tonight, as I do believe that was his 4th win of the year already for Clinton Woodby. Nope, 3rd win. 3rd win already on the season for Clinton, and he's, right there again in line to potentially try to battle for his 4th win here this evening as he looks to try to work his way around that 28 of Nathan Somerville. Somerville a little bit squirrely right there coming out of the last set of corners. Luckily not this time able to keep him pointing in the right direction as here comes Tyler Stevenson. Here comes Colton Hardy trying to work his way into the battle as well this afternoon. Jesse Galloway's right there as well. Galloway up in 7th, having himself a heck of a run here this evening. Rusty Modesty, who we saw get tied up and turned around not too long ago, rolls there in 8th with Nate Cogdill in his Johnny Johnson Motorsports, QH Design, CCR Esports, Sonographic Designs, number 00 there in 9th, and Matthew Catania back up inside the top 10. So Catania with that truck being repaired, getting some fresh tires onto it. He's trying to work his way back up towards the front of the field here. So is Caleb Kleinert, Rooster Rodden, and you do see Ashley Ellison, Matt Hayden, they're all back here as well, trying to get back into the battle. There's Winker. Winker still got quite a bit of front end damage here on that Muehlberger Custom Homes number 42 ride as K-Dub rolls back in 16th. He's got Keith Prince right there with him. Rick LePage back in 18th. Justin Lawson's there in 19th. Now I do know for Lawson, he's back on a lead lap. Unfortunately, we do see the Big Cat ride. Oh, look out! There goes the 0-0 of Nate Cogdell. Cogdell's going to go around. Caution flag is going to come back out. You see Michael Newman tied up in that as well. So another caution flag here in this race as Cogdell's trying to race his way up here, trying to get in on the fun. You see the 6 up the racetrack, and then, oh man, just nowhere to go right here as it looks like for the 6 washes up the speedway for the 51 ride of Tyler Stevenson. I think he thinks he's clear. He sees the 6 ride maybe go up the track right there, thinks he's clear off the corner. Unfortunately, the 0-0 was there. He was not clear. Runs up the track, runs over him. For Cogdell, he's got to roll out of it, and then he just kind of gets ran over right there by Modesty and that 318 machine of Matthew Catania, and unfortunately backs it into the inside fences. We're going to see Michael Newman. He ends up getting a love shove right here as well, I do believe, from Matt Hayden. He's checking up. Hayden doesn't see it in time, and unfortunately gives a big shot in the rear end to that 12 ride, and that puts Hayden up into the inside fence, the 12 right into the outside fence. Ashley Ellison gets a little contact into that one as well, as more of these drivers with their heavily damaged race trucks back down pit road getting some repairs here. You do see Cogdell, Justin Lawson's down there, Keith Prince is down there, Matt Hayden, Michael Newman, Kevin Winker. They're all trying to get these things back into one good piece, back into one good working condition, and back into the battle here this evening. And now the next big question is going to be, are these drivers that are at the front of the field, are they good on fuel? When we look through our top 7 here on the racetrack, they were last down pit road. They were at the stage break on lap number 49. So for David Traylor Jr., Nick Gardner, Nathan Somerville, Colton Hardy, Jesse Calloway, who's now in 5th, and Tyler Stevenson, Clinton Woodby back in 6th and 7th. They were last down pit road on lap 49. Will they have to make an additional pit stop later in this race? Will they have to end up back down pit road and trying to, get some fuel later on here this evening and potentially giving up a lot of track position? Or do these caution flags, are they helping them out? Are they making it so that they are good to go on fuel and that they will not have to make that additional pit stop here later this evening? We'll have to wait and see, as it's going to get interesting here. The intensity is going to continue to ramp up. These drivers are going to continue to get a little bit more risky and frisky here each and every single lap. And for that 54 rider, David Traylor Jr. is going to have to try and keep them all back there at bay and hope that he can continue to just hit these restarts, keep these drivers back there behind him, and hope that he can keep himself out in front of the field here to try to pick up another big win here for the 54 ride here in the Metalheads Truck Series. As the QH Designs 54 ride going to get ready to see that green flag fly once again as the pace truck makes a hard left-hand turn back down pit road for the 54, down and through that Echo Park restart zone. Here we go, back to battle at Bristol Motor Speedway. Another good launch, another good restart for the 54. He will clear Nick Gardner, jump back down in front of him, and for Nick Gardner, he'll try to stay here in second, but here comes Colton Hardy. Hardy's trying to work that outside lane, trying to work his way up and into a podium finish here, potentially even maybe a race win in that 97 truck. Beautiful new paint scheme here for that 97 ride, as I believe that is the M&M Construction riding on board here with that 97 ride. So shout out to M&M Construction being on board here with the 97 to Colton Hardy as he's looking to try to work his way up in front of the field. The 28 and Nathan Somerville will fall back into fourth, with Clinton Woodby back in fifth. Matthew Catania continues his battle back towards the front of the field here as the 318 machine now up and into that sixth position, but gets up into the outside fence once again. The Majulase Speed Shop ride, that's the second time we've seen him do that here this evening. Just get out of one of these corners, get a little bit loose and pancake that outside fence. Now luckily enough, this time looks like a little bit less damage, but it opens up the door here for a couple of his CCR teammates to try to work their way around him. As Tyler Stevenson down to his inside. Here comes Caleb Kleiner right into that battle, as well as CCR Esports sitting 7th, 8th, and 9th on the racetrack right now, and Ashley Ellison Jr. back in that 18th position, bringing up the rear of that 4-car team. But out in front, it is this number 54, David Traylor Jr., who continues to lead the way, as this time back down the back straightaway into corner number 3. They'll roll around some lap traffic as Michael Newman will lose another lap, and for the 54 of David Traylor Jr. will complete lap number 92 here this evening. So 58 laps of racing action left to go here this evening from the beautiful Bristol Motor Speedways. We're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank it up. Here this evening is the Duck Donuts 150. Giving you guys the sights and sounds of these amazing Metalheads Truck Series drivers at Bristol Motor Speedway. it up is going to come to a close here. Caution flag is out. Yellow flag has been displayed here this evening. And now for a bunch of drivers, they're going to earn some penalties coming back down pit road. Oh, brother, how the turntables have turned here this evening. As, man, this definitely got a little bit more out of control than I think a few of these drivers wanted to see. As a quick caution flag here puts us back under the Duck Donuts yellow flag here this afternoon as Michael Newman goes around. But drivers diving down pit road here to make what could be their final pit stops of the evening. Colton Hardy, Nathan Somerville, and the number 92 of Clinton Woodby all earn black flags coming down pit side here. And unfortunately for all three of those drivers, they will unfortunately have to go to the rear of the field here on this restart, unless if the admin group can get it waved off, as we do see Matt Hayden is going to take over the race lead here. So Hayden, who was running out in front early in this race, playing a little bit of strategy, will now consume this race lead with Nate Congdale, who will end up in position number 2. We do see Jesse Calloway, Rick LePage, they're coming down pit road this time, so they're pitting a little bit later, but they will make their way down pit road. For David Traylor Jr., he just came down pit side. He's going to get ready to restart here in that third position. Obviously now having about 20 lap better tires than a couple of these other drivers in front of him. We'll have to wait and see if that will make a difference and help him potentially back out in front to steal this race lead back away from Matt Hayden as we inch closer and closer to the checkered flag here today, as the laps are clicking down in a quick hurry, as Steve Black in the chat says, now this is a damn race. Yes, sir, it absolutely is, Steve. It absolutely is. Says, take them on the high side. Take them on the high side. If it's there, man, if it's there. These guys aren't scared to throw them in there. That is for certain. And we're going to see a lot of that, 2-3 wide battling here late in this race as the intensity level continues to build. These drivers continue to kind of get wound up and ready to rock and roll here for what could be another big restart here this evening. It's going to create just for a lot of excitement, a lot of great racing, and a lot of fun here late in this race. Is Hayden, Congdale 1 and 2, David Traylor Jr. back there in third with Nick Gardner, Colton Hardy, Clinton Woodby, the 28 of Somerville there in 7th, Matthew Catania, Justin Lawson, and Tyler Stevenson rounding out our top 10 as we get ready to go back to battle as the pace truck makes that hard left-hand turn back down pit side and down through the Echo Park restart zone. Matt Hayden gets the launch that he was looking for. Great restart, quickly jumping out in front and looking to open up a bit of a gap between himself and that 54 of David Traylor Jr. as it did not take long for David to work his way around that 0-0 Nate Congdale. Congdale now just trying to hang on to that third position as Nick Garner, the 92 ride of Clinton Woodby, in that 97, all trying to get around him here, all starting to pick on that number 0-0 ride, but a quick caution flag is cautions, breed cautions, and we'll see another one come out here in this one as it looks like Nathan Somerville, Tyler Stevenson maybe running into some issues here a little deeper in the pack. Let's take a look at it. Somerville getting a little loose, trying to hang on to it, sends it into the corner, loose again, washes up the racetrack into Tyler Stevenson. Nowhere to go there for Justin Lawson. Looks like Keith Prince gets a little damage out of that as well. Oh, tough break here, man. That's a tough break here in this one. Let's take a look and see if we get another angle at it. Yeah, the 28 just loose out of corner number 4 right here. Obviously gives him a bit of a weird angle entering into corner number 1, and obviously maybe just low tire pressures or what in this 28 truck. We've seen this a couple times for him being really loose after these pit stops, and unfortunately this time washes up into that bestrepair.net number 51 ride, and then here comes Lawson, nowhere to go. He drives into it. Here comes that 53 machine, the in memorial ride for Bill Hales, and unfortunately, looks like Caleb Kleiner is going to get some contact into that as well. The 0-1, Rooster Rana gets up into the outside fence. A few drivers getting some pretty solid contact here late in this race. Going to make things very, very tough for them to try to battle back and get into the fight here in this one as Matt Hayden out in front. Another restart, another opportunity here now. If he continues to see caution flags fly. I think the strategy of staying out here a little bit longer may work out for him. It may play out perfectly into his hands if he can just hit these restarts, get that, 3-4 laps of green flag racing in, see another caution flag, get those 3 or 4 laps under yellow. I mean, if he can just keep this pole position all the way down to maybe some NASCAR overtime or a late race restart where he's able to just keep that 54 ride at David Trailer at bay, could potentially win him this race. But I think for that 54 ride, David Trailer Jr., man, he wants to find victory lane more than anybody, I think, here. And for that 54 machine, he's definitely going to be pushing as hard as he can to try to put himself up and into victory lane, as I do believe for David Trailer Jr., he was able to pick up the win, I do believe, in our All-Star race, and I believe once earlier this season in the last Duck Donut sponsored race, he was able to pick up the win, I do believe, at Charlotte Motor Speedway. So for David, trying to maybe win race number 2 here on this season, he's going to be doing everything he can to try to put this truck back up into victory lane. As Steve says, is that Trey Taylor from Crew Tractor? Trey Taylor? No, it's David Trailer is the 54 ride. It's David Trailer Jr., not Trey Taylor from Crew Tractor. It's not that guy. It's not that guy. Unfortunately, it's not that guy. It's David Trailer Jr. and in that number 54 machine is Matt Hayden. Another good restart, but here comes those fresh tires. We know that David's going to be on the loud pedal, and he's going to be trying everything he can to make this pass happen. He does not want to battle too long. Door to door here with this 5 machine, as here comes the 27 of Nick Gardner right back into the battle. As look out, Catania! Oh no, Catania, Colton Hardy tied together. There goes the 318 machine. Caution flag is back out once again. So cautions continue to breed cautions here at the last Great Coliseum. And you see that heavy right front damage here for Catania. And unfortunately, this truck has seen some better days here. He's gotten tied up in a few instances, and now this is definitely going to hurt his chances of a solid finish here this evening. Let's take a look at it. As out of corner number 2. Just looks like he pushes up the racetrack right here. Colton still to his outside. I'm not sure if he was just trying to take a run into the middle here to get around that 0-0 machine. As, he sees the 0-0 get a little bit loose, tries to push up a little bit more. Colton Hardy's already there, and they just get tied together. The 97 just really nowhere to go. Hence the 318 machine come up into his lap right there, and both drivers get tied together for a while. They wash up into the outside fence, and here comes Rooster Rod, and nowhere for him to go. Ends up slamming hard contact there into that 318 machine. That's going to be pretty heavy damage for both drivers, and I know for Catania, he's already used his quick repair up, so for the 318 machine, this may be an extended trip down pit road here, or he may have to just try to battle with this damage for the rest of this race. Now for Kevin Winker, he's back down pit road. He's trying to make some different strategy calls. Same with Jesse Calloway. See Colton Hardy. He's trying to get that damage repaired here. He comes down pit side. Nate Cogdell's going to come down pit road as well. We know Cogdell at least has another set of tires in his back pocket, so it looks like he's going to try to use them now to his advantage. As Steve says, come on, guys. Looking like dang old Jeb Burton out there. Oh no, not like Jeb. Oh no, they're the Cody Wares of the iRacing community. It's okay, it's fine. They're used to it. No, I'm just kidding. These guys are pretty good. This is just a tough racetrack. Tight battling, the intensity's growing. These drivers are, maybe showing frustrations out there. As Bristol always bringing out the worst in people, that is for certain. So we'll have to wait and see if they can just get a few good laps in here. See if we can run this one clean and green down to the checkered flag. But I think we're going to be in store for at least another couple yellows here this evening, as we'll get them all ready to roll once again. For Matt Hayden, unfortunately did lose that race lead, so he will be playing catch-up here on this restart now. Hopefully he can try to get a good launch, stay with that 54 rider. David Trailer Jr. maybe slide back down in front of that 27 of Nick Gardner, but Gardner maybe will get a good enough jump here behind that 54 ride to work his way right up here into second. Now here the 92 ride of Clinton Woodby. You gotta know you got much better tires than the car in front of you, so you gotta be very cautious here on this restart, not to run him over, not to put him into a tough position here on this restart. As here we go, back down through the Echo Park restart zone. Here we go, and that's exactly what we see. The 54, great launch, great restart. Now here comes Nick Gardner. He wants to jump up into second, but Hayden able to do a great job using that middle lane momentum to keep himself just barely in front of the 27 ride. Oh man, Gardner may have had to roll out of it right there, and that's going to open up the door now for Clinton Woodby to work to his outside. As here comes Woodby, here comes Modesty, both looking and trying to get around this 27 ride. As here comes Rooster Rodden, Keith Prince right there as well in 7th. Tyler Stevenson, Caleb Kleinert, Ashley Ellison Jr. are top 10 out here on the Speedway. Man, what a run for Keith Prince in that beautiful Bill Hales Memoriam race car here this evening, sporting the 53 in memory of our amazing friend and competitor here in the series, who unfortunately passed away earlier today. Bill Hales riding on board with that 53, and hopefully he can try to bring that home for a very good finish here for not only himself but for Bill as well. Riding on board with Keith here this evening as David Traylor Jr. though out in front. He's looking to just set sail and run away with this one. Clinton Woodby's back there in second. Rusty Modesty rolls there in third as Nick Gardner slides back into that 4th position. Matt Hayden, who's on much older tires than these drivers, unfortunately now back into that 5th spot on the Speedway. But Rooster Rodden, Keith Prince, Tyler Stevenson, Nate Cogdell right back into the battle now. Cogdell, he does have some fairly fresh tires here. He has probably some of the freshest tires out of the drivers up inside of the top 10 here on the Speedway now in for the 0-0 machine. He's hoping that he can work his way back up towards the front and back into the battle for a good solid top 10, top 5 finish here this evening. Maybe even a race win if you can catch a couple caution flags. Unfortunately for Keith, stuck in that outside lane, starting to fall back a little bit here. The 53 ride now going to slide back into about the 9th position, maybe even back into 10th here, as here comes Caleb Kleiner. Kleiner's going to get down to his inside. Ashley Ellison Jr. now going to work underneath that 53 machine and move Keith Prince just outside the top 10. But they'll continue to battle. We'll have to see if Prince can work his way back into that fight with that number 133 machine, as Jesse Calloway's there in 12th. Michael Newman, Colton Hardy, Kevin Winker rounding out our top 15. Rick LePage and Matthew Catania with that tore up right front. Unfortunately, stuck back here in 17th. Nathan Somerville in 18th with Benjamin McKinnon, Justin Lawson, and Paul Durkee rounding out the field. But it's all David Traylor Jr. as the 54 down and across the line will click off another lap. It is only 16 laps left to go here in this one, as Amanda Joy says hashtag Winker Nation cheering on K-Dub here this evening, as Winker stuck a little deeper in the field here, had a great start to this race. Unfortunately, got tied up in that one caution flag, has not been able to rebound since then. But for the 54 ride of David Traylor Jr., it has just been his day here at the Speedway. Won that pole position, won the stage, and now looking to win this race, and only has 14 laps left to go. The clean victory here at the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway, as Clinton Woodby and Rusty Modesty in tow. They're trying to reel him in. Unfortunately for Clinton Woodby, finds himself about a second behind that 54 ride, seeing that the 54 is starting to pull farther and farther away here, starting to open up more and more of a gap here. Clinton's really gonna have to try to find another gear late in this race to try to jump up here and battle with David Traylor Jr. for the race win. Rusty Modesty rolling there in third, having himself a solid run here this evening. Nick Gardner back there in position number 4 with Tyler Stevenson back up inside the top 5. So for the CCR Esports rides, they're in 4th and 5th. Stevenson obviously trying to work his way back up into the hunt at the front here, and if he can work his way around this 27 truck, he does have a little bit better tire than the front 4 drivers, so maybe that will play a big advantage here in these closing laps if he's got enough time to reel them in and battle with them. Same with the 0-0 of Nate Cogdell. Cogdell, who was just down pit road during that last caution flag, he finds himself now back up into that 6th position. So making that pit stop seems to be paying off here for that 0-0 as he is battling his way back up just outside the top 5 right now. And top 5 may be right there in his future as David Traylor Jr. starts to work through a little bit of lap traffic. Unfortunately for the 318 of Matthew Catania, he will fall a lap down now into that lucky dog position, but it may not be for long because he's got Rick LePage and Kevin Winker just there in front of our race leaders, and they are potentially at risk of being the next wave of drivers to lose another lap here and take him out of that lucky dog spot. But it does hold up our 2nd and 3rd place drivers here. So for Clinton Woodby and Rusty Modesty, they end up losing quite a bit of time here to David Traylor Jr. trying to get around that 318 machine, and that's going to allow David Traylor Jr. to really just open up a commanding lead here. A pretty massive lead now between himself and our 2nd place driver. It's about 1.4 seconds here between himself and Clinton Woodby, so well over a 1.25 seconds, almost a 1.5 seconds now, with only 5 laps left to go. All he's going to do is just hope not to see a caution flag. No late race yellows, no issues, no problems. He wants to run this clean and green to the checkered flag. He's trying to get there as quick as possible, hoping that lap traffic, no one goes around, no one puts themselves into a tough position as David Traylor Jr. in the QH Designs number 54 ride out in front, gonna continue to pound the pavement here as he rounds corner number 3 and out of 4, back down across the line here on the concrete. It is going to be 3 laps left to go. So 3 more circuits here for David Traylor Jr. as Clinton Woodby and Rusty Modesty continue to fall farther away from the 54. You see Stevenson starting to reel him in. Nick Garner's trying to hang on to 5th as Nate Cogdell is trying to take that 5th position away from him. Cogdell down to the inside of that 27 ride, trying to move his QH Designs Johnny Johnson ride up inside the top 5 as David Traylor Jr. nice and easy down and out of 4, back across the line. We'll see the white flag fly. So one more time around here for David Traylor Jr. as Kevin Winker just in front of him trying to keep himself on the lead lap, but for David Traylor, final time down through 3 and out of 4, it is the 54 of David Traylor Jr. who will pick up the win here in the Duck Donuts 150 from the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway. It's David Traylor Jr. who picks up the checkered flag and will win here at Bristol. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for the QH Designs Toyota of David Traylor Jr. as he picks up the dub. He'll get ready to celebrate here in this one. As what a run, what a drive for him here today, man. That was a heck of a performance, a heck of a drive out of that 54 machine, and we'll get ready to pull him and the rest of our top 3 up and into the broadcast booth for their post-race interviews. As Eric Hardy says, if it can't be the 97, our QH Design sponsored 54 will work too. Absolutely. Any one of these QH Designs trucks up in victory lane is a good day. And even for Colton Hardy, battling back there late in this race for a top 10 run, finished there in the 8th position. But it's all David Traylor Jr. as David picks up the dub here in this one. Clinton Woodby comes home in 2nd. Rusty Modesty back there in 3rd with Tyler Stevenson, Nick Gardner rounding out our top 5. Nate Cogdell, Caleb Kleinert, Colton Hardy, Rooster Rodden, and Ashley Ellison Jr. the top 10 here this evening as the QH Designs 54 ride to celebrate here this evening in the beautiful Tennessee as he's able to get the job done here in this one. Let's get him up into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview. Post-race interview is going to come right up next here. Let's see if we can get him up and into the booth as he's going to pull himself up and into victory lane here in this one. Hey, David, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Hey, I got you, Aaron.
David, man, what a run, what a race as you're able to pull that QH Designs 54 right up and into the Bristol Motor Speedway victory lane, man. Take us through it and what's going through your mind after, you know, what was a pretty amazing night of racing action here this evening, man.
My first thought is finally. This is the third week in a row, or the fourth week in a row I finished top two, and first of those that I've won. So it's nice to finally get over the hump again. Um, but yeah, I mean overall for a Bristol race, I think that was pretty tame. I know we didn't have a huge field, but we had 20 plus, and it wasn't overly a wreck fest. We had good green flag runs. We had tire fall off. Um, we didn't have so many cautions that there was wild pit strategy. Everybody kind of had the same idea, and luckily I was able to kind of come out on top of that for once. But no, that was a really great race that we were able to put together tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Heck of a run, heck of a performance. Obviously, winning that pole position, you start out in front. You see that five right of Matt Hayden, who's finally back in action. He's able to get around you off the initial start, and he steals that lead away from you for a little bit. But all of a sudden, we start to see that green flag run coming. You're able to work your way around that five right, jump back out in front, and end up winning not only the race, but also the stage as well. As it was late in this race, you had to be virtually in that same area. You have those fresher tires. You got Cogdell in that five right in front of you on a little bit older tires, and you're able to make quick work of them and jump back out in front and use those fresh tires just to keep everyone else back there at bay, even through some of those late race restarts, able to keep everyone kind of off your back bumper and allow you to kind of open up enough lead that you don't have too much pressure or too much to stress about late in this race, besides potentially a late race caution flag.
Yeah, I mean that's when I did come out after the pit stop there, and there was a couple guys in front of me. I was a little bit concerned. It's really easy just to get buried in traffic and have your lane not go. But luckily, I was able to start behind the leader. Matt got a good jump, and I was able to get to Nate's quarter panel there. And for some reason tonight, the second groove just didn't really work as well as it used to at Bristol. So this was a really bottom dominant race. And once you could kind of get the bottom and get the lead, unless the guy behind you was just hitting all his marks, it was pretty tough to get around. But no, that once we came out, I felt good. I felt like I had the long run speed. I felt like I was good enough on the short run. But yeah, got the cautions to fall right, got around the five as fast as I could. Didn't want to waste any time, and then just set sail.
Absolutely set sail, ran away with it, put a bunch of other drivers lap down there late in this race. How nerve-wracking was it trying to just navigate through some of that lap traffic, knowing that you don't want to put them into a position where they're going to lose it and bring out potentially a late race caution flag and bring these guys right back to your rear bumper.
Yeah, there for a minute, I looked up and saw that they were side by side in front of me for a second there, and I got a little a little bit of anxiety, but they sorted themselves out, and I was able to get around them one by one there, which is way less nerve-wracking than trying to pass two of them at the same time. But I felt like I had a decent enough cushion to the 92 behind me that I was able to take my time and not force anything. All it takes is one tiny mistake, and you lose all the time you've built. So yeah, just had everything go our way tonight.
Absolutely. Things went your way perfectly here this evening as you parked that 54 back up and into victory lane. David, who'd you like to thank for another great run and great performance capturing tonight's checkered flag?
Yeah, first off, thanks to the rest of the admin crew. Colton, Nate, Skylar wasn't able to make it tonight, and then Kevin. We try to put a good league together here. I think we got a great group of guys that show up week in, week out, and makes it a lot of fun. Thanks to you for putting the broadcast on. I love going back and watching these, and I really can't wait to go back and watch this one. Finally, big thank you to all the main sponsors for the league. I think I've got them all in the truck as well. QH Design, Duck Donuts, CCRE Sports, Admin Box, Johnny Johnson Motorsports, Blair at the winning bid. I've used pretty much all of their services as far as buying diecasts or using Colton and the guys at QH. So they're great supporters of ours, and I can't recommend them enough. Congrats to the other two on the podium tonight, Clinton and Rusty. I don't know how their race went, but they finished pretty well. So good job to them. And then, of course, this morning we heard the news that we had lost Bill Hales. So I do want to give a shout out to Bill and his family. his kids out there. I know that's tough. Cancer sucks, man, and this one's definitely for him.
Yeah, definitely a sad day for certain, man. But great racing, great action. I know Bill would have been right here enjoying this, great battle at Bristol Motor Speedway with us here this evening. But yeah, our hearts and prayers go out to his friends, his family, and all of his acquaintances in the racing community that's hurting today after hearing that awful news earlier this afternoon. But David, heck of a run, heck of a drive for you, man. Congrats on the win here this evening. We can't wait to see you guys back in action again next Monday.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Aaron.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, David Trailer Jr. As David picks up the dub here today, puts that QH Designs ride up and into victory lane. As we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, it is the 92 ride of Clinton Woodby. Let's get Woodby up here into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview. Hey, Clinton, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Do you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Clinton, man, another great run, another great race for you here tonight, man. Obviously, a spot shy of victory lane for your fourth time here on the season, but a very solid points day, a very solid second place finish, man. Take us back through it and what's going through your mind after 150 laps here at Bristol Motor Speedway.
I'm just kind of pumped to actually finish the race here. This is a local track to me. It's like 15 minutes away, so I've always wanted to win here. This is the best I've finished. I usually get the lead and spin myself out, so I'll take a P2 if that means never winning, but I finished P2. I guess I can accept that. And congrats to David. I know he's been working on getting multiple wins this year, so I think that gets him number 2. And yeah, it felt like a pretty good race. I mean, it was definitely new Bristol. You could get up on the outside and actually go around somebody, but you were kind of at the mercy of them going to the bottom and even letting you have the top side. So I appreciate all those guys who, I guess, played fair tonight. Seemed like everybody, if they realized somebody was a little faster than them, they didn't stay in the lane that was faster coming behind them. So appreciate everybody for racing like that. And yeah, I don't know. I'll take a P2, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely nothing to hang your head about coming home second here in a series that, obviously has so many great talented drivers, so many fast cats out there on the racetrack, and for a track that, as you said, can be super treacherous. You can, end up parked pit side here in a quick hurry. And unfortunately for a few drivers, found out the hard way late in this race that, some of these late race cautions can end your night out there on the speedway. Luckily enough for yourself, you're able to avoid some of that late race carnage and find your way up here onto a podium run and picking up another good point stake here at the Speedway.
Yeah, I think I came in today leading, so we'll see where I think I might have got 2 stage points there when the caution come out. When the first stage caution come out, I was working Colton, getting around him, and I think I could have got maybe 2 more guys by the time the stage was going to come out if I could have just actually got around them. I was a lot faster on the long run on the bottom than I felt like most people were, but you didn't really have any momentum on the bottom. You just kind of had to hope the guy on the outside just didn't have any momentum whenever they come out of the corner exit. So I guess all in all, the plan came together. Try to have a nice solid finish and got a few stage points and got a decent amount of points today. So we'll see where we're standing after that.
Absolutely works out perfectly for you here this evening, Clinton. Congrats on the second place finish, but who would you like to thank again here tonight for another great run and great performance out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, first and foremost, just want to say Bill Hales, shout out to him. He was a brother on the track, and we lost him today, or possibly yesterday. I'm not sure exactly when everything happened, but thoughts and prayers out to his family and everybody close to them and everybody around us, and my girlfriend Megan and Blair Peterson winning bid diecast, and you guys for the broadcast and the league and everything y'all do.
Absolutely, brother. Clinton, enjoy the rest of your night, brother, and congrats again on a second place run here this evening. We'll see you back in action next Monday and hopefully right back up here in the broadcast booth.
Oh yeah, appreciate it.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for the 92 of Clinton Woodby. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for that 92 ride as we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher, Rusty Modesty. Hey, Rusty, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth to get a copy.
Hey, Mr. Aaron.
Rusty, man, heck of a run, heck of a drive for you here this evening after, what looked to be a bit of a rough start, obviously starting deeper in the pack, and then you get tied up in a couple of those caution flags. Look like things are kind of going the wrong way for you, but late in this race, just, good strategy, right place, right time finally, and you're able to navigate your way to a solid top 3 performance here this afternoon, man. Take us back through and what's going through your mind.
Yeah, man, that's just Bristol. It was chaos as always, and the trucks were kind of, I don't know, we were fighting tight, and then you're death loose on exit. So I don't blame anyone for any incidents that happened today. It's just this one was a tough one to drive. But yeah, I don't know, just didn't really get a lot of practice. Was pretty slow. I think I ran 2 practice laps and then tried to qualify, and just got home late from work. You know how it is, and just came out, kind of learned under the green flag. So it was just a little patient, love the outside lane, and that was kind of the gift and a curse. It was easy to make a pass, but if there was ever a wreck, you're pretty much in it. So I think I left here with a 12x. Not my proudest moment here, but yeah, somehow, some way, we ended up just nursing it home there at the end. I think, no doubt, I'm sure I had damage, but yeah. It's just Bristol, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the last great Coliseum for a reason, because it is a fight every time you get out there onto the racetrack. And here tonight, drivers having to battle for everything they could get, and here for yourself, able to come home with a very solid top 3 performance in that number 6 machine. Rusty, who'd you like to thank for another great run and great drive out there on the racetrack?
Yeah, shout out to Misfits. I love racing with those guys every week, and David and everyone here. David does a great job helping admin, even from the truck. He does a really good job, an impressive job. And thanks for Nate for helping orchestrate all this and put this on. It's been a good fun league to race in. You for broadcasting, and shout out Lindsay Fitzmaurice.
Well, Rusty, heck of a run, heck of a drive here tonight, man. We can't wait to see you guys back in action next Monday, and hopefully see you right back up here in the broadcast booth.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Thanks, Aaron.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher, Rusty Modesty, as Rusty comes home in position at number 3 here this evening. Heck of a run, heck of a drive there for that 6th ride. Heck of a drive for all these drivers, man. That was a crazy race, a lot of crazy action out there. Obviously, a few caution flags, a few, back and forth, a few tight battles. But at the end of the day, man, that was a lot of fun and some great racing. And once again, man, it was all here tonight for our great friend Bill Hales and his family, as our hearts and prayers are with them after losing Bill earlier today. Man, just such a heartbreaker here for the Metalheads Truck Series and for the Peacemaker family and for everyone that knew Bill, man. Heartbreaking, but man, this is exactly where he'd want us to be here, enjoying some racing, enjoying some great time here on the simulator, and hopefully, he'll be with us for many more nights watching and enjoying from a better place. As unfortunately, that is going to do it for us here this evening. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Shout out to Duck Donuts and all of our amazing sponsors for being on board and showing the love and enjoying the amazing racing here throughout the night. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Help us out a ton here on Peacemaker Gaming. Hit the like button on the stream for us right now. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already become part of the Peacemaker family. Turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss any of our green flag laps here on Peacemaker Gaming, as we'll be back in action here later in the week, and we'll be bringing some more amazing battles, some more amazing racing here for everyone to enjoy. Some great racing here on these streams. But thank y'all for watching here tonight. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see y'all back here in the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.
Mellow bass screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rivals on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous things pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name.